and yet so far. You poor thing. Oh, forgive me for my laughter. I mean no offense, but I can't help it. You really didn't think you were going to take all of us in one fell swoop, right? You can't be that stupid, right? Oh dear. I only recently joined the team, but even I know not to rush headfirst into something without weighing the risks. I think you heroes were smarter than that, but that's something I've yet to find true. Me? Mock you? Oh no, not at all. I actually quite admire your tenacity. It's something I've seen in heroes like yourselves, but none as strong as yours. Perhaps a little cliched? Maybe. But it's true. None are determined or as morally put as you. Darling, why would I want to do such a thing as interrogate you? In fact, I find that the most ridiculous and tedious task to be asked of any villain. It's so straightforward, and the answers are so obvious. Besides, that would merely be ammunition for your righteous anger. And nobody wants that. Not even second-rate villains like myself. If I were really manipulating you, I'd be saying things you want to hear. Doing quite the opposite now, aren't I? You seem to be unhappy with any answer I give you, so that's not it. The other villains are much worse in that regard, I assure you. Not all snakes speak in half-truths. You're disappointed with yourself, aren't you? You did what you could with what you had, and it didn't work out. It's fine, really. Don't beat yourself up too much. Leaves an open spot for others to pinpoint, and generally speaking, it doesn't help the matter. Plus, if it helps you feel any better, I find it quite cute. Your outfit is unique to you, not any cookie-cutter power dog or fantasticat costume which most supers tend to dress up in. Anything against the trend is far more attractive in my view. There's the proof in the pudding. You really are cute. The others would rip you apart. But I'm curious. I want to know more about you and why you became a hero. I know your story isn't like the others. Far from it. I need to know, and we have the time. So... That looks rather uncomfortable up there, doesn't it? Don't you catch up quickly. You are indeed correct. I won't just let you go so easily. You know, I have been directly told to deal with you. But in their foolishness, they gave me the freedom to choose. Don't be frightened. I don't wish to hurt you in any way. I merely wish to know more about you, and I will tell you about myself. After all, heroes have to know the reason why they are determined to fight their villain before they do. Yes. In exchange for this information, I will let you in on some of my story, and then I'll let you go. We can finalize the deal once I let you down to ground level. Here, just hold on tight. My tail will assist. Still unsure, Makes sense. You'd never trust a snake any which way you look, though I quite despise how others think of my species. I hold no judgment against them. I assure you, my deal is genuine. No tricks, no lies, no faults or flaws in this deal. I guarantee it. But if you still don't trust me, I am afraid I'll have to do a bit more hard work in convincing you. Aren't you just adorable trying to put up an act? Face it, the others may be frightening by their physical strength and their body count, but they respect me for my talent alone. Gentle coils and hypnotism through sight allows me to steal with no harm to anyone. I'm not stealing anything today, of course. I only merely wish to know you, your story, your personality. Everything about you I desire to know. That way we can become familiar with one another. I think that would be beneficial for both of us, don't you think? What's that? My eyes? They're changing color, aren't they? Oh dear. You really ought to look a little closer. The color is changing, yes. But they're not so bad, aren't they? They're not fast at all. They're going at the pace you like them to, at your preferred speed and volume. Oh, you're not dizzy at all, dear. And don't worry about fearing yourself falling over. I've got you right where I want you. My coils will hold you tight and close, and they're gentle too. Don't you feel them? Aren't they wonderful? So smooth and soft, not slimy at all. Don't you feel so relaxed, like you could just fall asleep? Oh no, don't actually fall asleep, silly. It's merely noticing how deep you are in this feeling of relaxation, light as air and yet so heavy like a blanket. Keep going, sinking slowly into bliss. And when you are ready, tell me of your backstory. Darling, dear, please do not apologize. You're doing so well, but it feels as good for you as it does for me. Let me guess, you haven't felt like this in a while. No? I'm not surprised. You must have a story to tell. Whenever you are ready, you may begin. I didn't realize how bad you had it. Yet, your good heart led you to become stronger against your trauma. I knew you were different, but that is not a bad thing. The others have been deeply unkind and frankly disrespectful to you, and yet you still retain the same heroic nature, those soft yet brave eyes. Oh dear, I see. My hypnotism also reveals the true emotional states of those I captivate. You've been holding this boulder upon your back for far too long. Take your time as much as you need. Shh. I'm thankful to have learned why you became a hero. I bet you'll do a lot of great things in the world, and I hope you do. Now that I've gotten what I desire, I shall tell you my story. I promise to make it brief. I wasn't always this way. I used to be human, just as normal as anyone else. I was an intern for the local zoo's veterinary department and was assigned to the reptile house. I always found them quite underrated and never understood why people were afraid of them, especially after that fateful day. It began like any other, and I did my work diligently. It was only when the accident happened that I became changed forever. It might seem coincidental, but around the same time I began working with the reticulated python, getting him ready for his shed bath, the nearby science museum had been working on gamma ray technology in the lab neighboring the zoo. In a completely idiotic mood, the gamma gun was mishandled by one of the scientists, and it fired at the window to the reptile house, hitting both me and the snake that I held. The rays completely molded our bodies together, turning me into this It was only when I tried to explain everything to my boss, who feared and disliked the reptile house. He was planning to destroy the building to put in an exhibit for the dolphins, his favorite animal, that he promptly didn't believe me, claiming I was cursed by my work and had been infected by the reptiles I handled. He blamed me for the damage, despite the clear evidence of the gun's mishandling and the ray's impact on the glass. He fired me, saying as long as he was alive, he'd never let me handle animals ever again. Cursing his name in my breath, I found he was right. No matter what job I applied to, even if it wasn't vet-related, declined my offers due to my disfigurement. I vowed revenge on the world for treating me and the animals I loved so much this way. Until reptiles are respected as much as other animals are, my job will never be done. Aw, don't feel bad. In fact, you're the only one who's felt that way for me. The villains only took me in due to my skills. They don't respect me as a snake person. The only one I've told this story to is Hammy, because he was once a former hero like you. Even if that's false, he's just very nice. I would have been his partner, but Crowvile was especially possessive of him. It's a shame. She seemed so kind to me when I was first hired. Now even Webster steps back, despite him being more feared than I am. Foxtrot doesn't care about anyone, but that's not surprising, because she's an asshole and it's in her nature. I would, but I need the money. It's not possible to live without it nowadays. I can understand you're in a similar situation from the looks of your outfit. If it was more affordable, we'd both be flying the coop. But that doesn't matter right now. Thanks to you, you gave me even more of a reason to be a villain. To fight the system. Maybe to see you, more or less. Or both. You're interesting. I really like you, and I'd like to see you more often. I bet fighting against a reptile thief is better than stopping just any old cat burglar, right? Yeah, that was a cheap pun, wasn't it? But still, I mean it. I'd like to see you in action, not in this unarranged sort of meeting. The next time we meet, I'll come alone and you should too. Those others you shouldn't bother with. They'd make a mess of things. Here, I'll give you my number. Oh, I forget I'm still holding you. That's okay. I'll just take the phone from the Webster's desk for just a minute and put my number in your notepad. It's not the villain's line, I promise. It was one of the only things I'm able to afford now that I've joined the group. Thank you again for speaking with me, little hero. I'm grateful to find someone like yourself to talk to. And maybe stop by the next time we meet. If you happen to forget what I look like, just remember my name. Whiptail. Oh, I should ask you yours as well. That way we'll remember each other. What a beautiful name, fitting for such a valiant hero. Well, as much as I'd love to sit here and chat, the others will be returning soon from their dates. And don't worry about the hypnosis. You'll be bright and awake in 1, 2. There you go. You don't feel dizzy, do you? You're welcome, cutie. Now you should get going. They're going to be here any minute, and I wouldn't want them to find out our little secret. I'll make sure they don't lay a finger on you, all right? Okay, darling. See you soon.